so ago, I was out for a run. And when I say run, I mean run. I'm not very fast, but I enjoy it and I enjoy the exercise attached to it. However, if you've ever gone for a run, you know that it's like an 80% mental sport. It's a place where it's really not about your physical ability, although that helps, right? It's really about your mindset to go farther than your body thinks it can keep going. So I'm in the middle of this run and I'm hitting some really hard intervals, and I'm at the last, longest, fastest interval. And about 5 seconds before I'm supposed to pick up speed, my coach in my head, or in my ear, she pops in and she's like, hey, just real quick, I want to remind you, don't let your head outthink what your body's capable of doing. And I was like, okay. And I took a deep breath and I went and I ran probably one of my hardest intervals I've ever run. And when I got done, I was so proud. I texted my husband and I was like, you are never going to believe this. I ran harder and faster than I've ever run before. And so on my cool down walk, when my brain started working again, I had this thought. How often do we let our mind outthink what we can do spiritually when we encounter a storm? We get to the storm and we get to it and we look at it and we start faithful, we start strong. And then all of a sudden the storm's still going because it doesn't instantly dissipate. We're still having a struggle with work. We're dealing with a financial situation. Things happen whether we knew they were coming or we caused them, because that happens. And we're in it. And then all of a sudden we hit this point where we're like, you know what? It's just going to be what it's going to be. And we sort of blow it off and we kind of tell God like, hey, I'm sure you're working on it, but I'm not seeing it. So you know what? It's going to be what it's going to be. You just go do your thing. And we try to live it out and get to the other side of this storm. But the reality is our head has outthought what God can really do in the spirit. And so my encouragement to you is in this moment, when you get to that last interval, that longest, fastest, hardest interval, is to stay the course. Don't let your mind outthink everything that you have planted in the spirit, everything that you've planted in faith, everything that you have put intentionally into your spiritual growth. That is the time to reap that harvest and pull from that place and stay steadfast in the storm and know that God is in the middle of the storm with you. So often we think ourselves out of it and we walk out of a moment right before the miracle takes place because it gets intense and we feel the heat of it. I encourage you, stay the course, stay consistent, stay in the word, and let God continue to walk with you while he leads you through that storm.